Hello guys, I'm not new to YouTube, but I don't usually edit my videos, and it has been a while since I last filmed. Um, and when I filmed, it was like a vlog. So this is my first time filming a game video, and I did want to talk in the actual video, which I did, but unfortunately there was somehow an error, so there is no voice or anything in the actual video, which is why I am doing a voiceover. Um, I decided to try to make a friend of mine in Sims, which I already did yesterday, and I did try to film that too, but the recording stopped and my game crashed. So I downloaded a new recording app, which worked pretty well. So I created a friend of mine and myself in the game, and I think it went pretty well. So my game is just starting right now. It is a bit laggy. I think it might be because um well, I'm recording. Um, but it does take a little while for it to well start. Um, and I do have for the characters, I do have CCs. I don't have a lot, so it was a little hard, but I did my best. And I do play with wicked whims, so I did try to be careful, which thankfully was a success. And now my game has well opened, and I'm just closing down the tabs. The three characters you see right now in the middle, uh, those are the ones I did yesterday. The one in the middle is one of my friends. The one in the green shirt is also a friend of mine. The other one is myself. Um, those I do think they look pretty accurate, kind of. Um, a big problem was definitely the hair part. Because I do have some hair that are really pretty, but they don't really fit if I want my friends to be accurate. But I did my best there, and I was pretty proud of them. So now I was just waiting for the character part to show, and it gave me a man to start with, so I changed it into a woman, and I was pretty satisfied with the person it gave me. Normally, I do randomize it because I look for a specific. Sometimes it's really just a face shape, which I could change by going into different parts, but sometimes randomizing it is just easier. And here I just edited the chin a little bit and the jaw. I did think about changing the ears slightly, but I was pretty satisfied with them. And I was looking for some eyebrows that fit, which I do have some favorites, because the others I don't really think they fit my characters. So I just kind of tried changing them a bit so they would look better in the position. And then the hard part was also figuring out which color I should give it. But I did end up with something I was satisfied with. I just sped this part up because it took me a while to find an eye shape that I was satisfied with. I tried moving the eyes and everything, but it wasn't really working for me. And for the nose, I did have to look at a picture of her because I don't really look at people's noses. Uh, and I did have to go back and forth, but I did find a nose I was pretty satisfied with. Um, the beginner nose I got was also pretty good, but I did feel like that the nose wasn't her. So I also just changed it up a bit, but I ended up finding something I was satisfied with. The lips were easier because I was already almost satisfied with the starter lips. I did also go back and forth a few times, but it was definitely easier to find something I was satisfied with there. And I then decided to see if I could find an overlay, skin overlay that I liked. I did like a few of them, but I did have to look for one that kind of reminded me of her the most. So I did go back and forth between a few of them a bit, but I did also have some that I knew wouldn't fit at all. I did end up with one that I was satisfied with. That was good. And I then decided to look if I could find a skin color that suit her the best. And then I decided to look for some makeup because she does wear makeup, but it's not a lot. Um, and the one I'm using right now, I like using it if I want to darken it a bit, around the eyes a bit, or if I want the part around the eyes to be reddish. So I don't necessarily use it as makeup. And I did struggle with eyeliner because I don't have that many. And for me, they just looked weird, which I was pretty upset about because I really like some of the eyeliners I have, but not really being able to use any that was pretty unfortunate. I decided to speed the rest of it up because the whole recording is over an hour, and I didn't want to make such a long video. And what I was showing right there was a blush that I was pretty obsessed with. It's one of the newest blushes that I have downloaded, and I really like it. For lips, I didn't want anything too eye-catching, and if she wears anything, it's mostly like gloss. So that is definitely what I went for. The hair part for her was pretty hard because most of the custom hair that I have is long, and hers is like shoulder length. And what I was sharing with that hair was that her hair reminds me of that one, but her hair is has more volume, and it's like wavy, maybe a bit curls, which is hard. Which I also do need to see if I can find some CCs that match, because I do want more like hair choices. And that hair that I had right there also kind of reminded me of a hairstyle she's had before, but it didn't really fit. I did decide to go for that hair I had a few seconds ago. I just decided to change the color a little. I then got to the clothing part, And I was careful when removing like accessories and shoes because I didn't want to accidentally remove the clothes because I am using Wicked Whims as I mentioned earlier. And I'm not the best at editing because I haven't ever really edited my videos. So I didn't really want to struggle with trying to cover something for my first recording. The shirt I had right there, where the hands were in the pockets, I really wanted to use that one because that did remind me of something she would wear. But I do think that one is more of a photo half shirt instead of and something you'd actually go with because the hands are in the pockets. The shirt she's wearing right now, that I decided to use that one because it really reminds me of a shirt she actually has. And for jeans, most of the ones I have are kind of low rise, so the stomach is exposed, which she doesn't really do if it's like only a little bit. So I did my best, and I ended up finding those. While they don't really look like the ones she would actually wear, it's the closest I could find. And then I was just looking for shoes, and then I changed the body proportions a little bit to make it more her. Um, and I can't make it too accurate because I don't want to look at my friends with those eyes. Well, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to mean anything, but I don't necessarily look at my friends' bodies. It was a little bit hard, but I did as good as I could. I then decided to, well, come up with a name, and I decided to use the first letter of her name. And for the attributes and everything, I decided to, well, try to make it as accurate as possible. And I think it ended up pretty good. I then went on to try making myself, and I didn't want to make it different from the one I made yesterday. And here I did decide to randomize it, which I did regret because I do think the first one was the most accurate, but I decided to go with that one. And again, I just deleted the accessories and the makeup and everything, and began working on the. Well, I also removed the hair to make it like a blank base, and then try to match the skin tone. Um, which I did struggle with because some parts on my body are like quite pale, while others are like red or reddish. It was a little hard. I then changed the jaw, the cheeks, and the ear shapes a little bit before then going on to the eyebrows and eyes. And yeah, I just decided to speed my whole part up so that it would be quicker, and I didn't think it was that important to show in detail. Um, because again, some of the things did take a while. Um, for example, the nose was a little hard. The eyebrows, I did take one of my favorites because, well, that was the one that made the most sense. And then I remembered that I forgot to change the eye color on my friend, but then I looked and I figured out that it was alright because the eye color was already blue. The eye shape did take a while, but I did find something that worked for me. It did take a while, as I said, to find my shape. Then I decided to use the eyeshadow I had talked about and make it red, so the part around my eyes is red. But I remembered that I hadn't used a skin overlay yet, and I found one that fit. And then I put the eyeshadow, and then I looked for an eyeliner, but then figured out that no reason for me to put it because I don't really wear eyeliner, which I wish I could, but I don't know how to. And I found some eyelashes that worked for me, and I really liked that hair, but my hair is straight as a piece of paper, which that hair isn't. But I like that hair, and I want that hair, so I decided to use it. And my hair tried to make it like a chestnut brown because I did color my hair. And again, I used the same blush as before because that right now is my favorite blush. The dress part did make me scared because if I were to put a shirt on, then the dress would be removed. But thankfully, the shirt I pressed on was long enough to cover the lower body. And then just put some pants on and found a shirt. And I did end up satisfied with that shirt. I just made it darker. And I did change my body shape while deciding on a color. And I changed the pants, and I decided to just go with them because they're kind of similar to the ones I actually have. And I was pretty satisfied with that one too. And again, for the name, I decided to go with the first letter of my name. Um, and the last names are just randomized. For the relationship, I just decided to make us sisters instead of like housemates. And then I decided to add a dog because she does have a dog. I tried to make it as accurate as possible. It was a little hard. Um, her dog, her dog is on the older side now. I don't remember how old, but I did take that into consideration and try to make like his face more white. I I don't think it looks like he's old. I just think it looks like he's silly, but he truly is a sweetheart. Um, and it definitely is hard to see him with a more white face because I've been friends with her for many years, and I knew that dog since well before he was old. And last time I visited her, it was kind of just hard to see, and he also has hearing problems now, so you do have to speak louder if you want to talk to him. Um, but I also think it's harder for him to recognize you, and it definitely hurts. But he truly is a sweetheart, and he truly is like the dog I never had myself. And she does know that, and she understands, and she's okay with it. Because it's not like I'm going to take him away. But yeah, for the dog's name, I decided to just go with Baby Baby because he will truly always be a baby in our hearts. Um, then I looked for where I wanted them to live. Um, I did end up choosing, well, the one you can see. And for the house, I decided to not go with the house. I decided to just bulldoze it so I could start from the beginning. And I'm not the best at making houses, but I do just prefer having everything on one uh level, because if I make a two-story house, I'm not gonna see what's on the second story. Um, and I think that's a bit unfortunate. I do wish I could, but for some reason I can't. So that's a bit unfortunate. Then I just decided on the size of the house. I did think it was a bit on the smaller side, but I had to make it work. So I decided to just make the whole building process speed up, because it did take a while, and I didn't see any reason on making you see the normal speed. And I thought that it would just be a little more satisfying to watch it go by quicker, because it doesn't seem like there was so much decision making. Um, but I do wish that it was a little bit different look wise. I do think it ended up pretty well. And while I'm recording this, the voiceover, I just remembered that I totally forgot to like make a wallpaper and the floor, so it still has, well, the look it has right now. So that's a bit annoying. I will be changing that tomorrow, I think, or possibly in the next video, because I will hopefully be making another video. That was definitely the plan. Um, it definitely depends on if I have the time and if everything goes to plan. But I definitely do hope that although this video seems rushed, um, it's not on purpose. Although it is on purpose that I sped some of the parts up. Um, I truly just am not used to well, uh, editing a video. The blogs, the vlogs I made, I was younger there, so it's a few years ago. I didn't edit them, I just uploaded them. They are private now, though, thankfully. And I'm sorry if my voiceovers seem like slow. I'm not really used to talking, and I do find it hard to talk. Um, and I say a lot. I do apologize for that too. It's hard for me to think about what I want to say. But I also decided to just kind of be real, instead of sitting down and making a whole script about what I should say. Because I feel like that would sound a bit robotic. Uh, I really do hope that although my voiceover was bad, that at least the visual part of this video was alright. Um, and if you enjoyed it, I hope you'll consider to like and subscribe. If you don't, that's fine too. That's really up to you. Um, and at the end of the day, I just made this video for fun. I really do hope you all have a good day or night. And if you don't, then I hope that everything ends up being better. And if you're in a bad spot at the moment, I do hope that everything ends up better soon. Because it's truly not fun to be in a bad spot. And I really do hope that everything and everyone ends up well. I really do hope that you all have a good day or night and life. Bye bye.